Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of singer and songwriter David. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. So for anybody unfamiliar with this case, I'm going to give you a quick rundown so you can understand the context of the clip we're getting ready to watch. On September 8th, 2025, the dead body of Celeste Rivas was found in the front trunk of David's Tesla. Now, she had been missing. She was a runaway since April 5th, 2024. At that time, she was 13. She would have been 15 when her body was found. In August of this year, the Tesla had been found sitting for an excessively long period of time and was ultimately towed. There have been a number of conflicting details. Some say the body was found dismembered. Others say it wasn't. There have also been reports that it was wrapped in plastic. The one thing that everybody agrees on in the investigation is that this was a homicide. That being said, David has not been charged. He has not been arrested, at least not at this point. We're going to talk about why I think that is at the end of this video. But there are a number of very strange coincidences. Now, years ago, way before anything happened to Celeste Rivas, David wrote a song, and actually his most popular song, Romantic Homicide. He's also had some particularly strange imagery in some of his videos. One of them where they're throwing a dead body in the trunk of a car. There's been lyrics in the songs where he's talking about murdering somebody in the back of his mind. There's so many strange coincidences with this. Now, something that the internet has done, which the internet tends to be very good at, they have researched and found any potential connection to David and Celeste Rivas. Now, keep in mind, she would have been 13 years old when she went missing, and she may have known David even before then. Former teachers reported that he, in fact, is aware that there was a relationship, or he alleges there was a relationship between David and Celeste Rivas, which would be a very serious charge given that David is an adult. Now, if I was to cover everything, it would probably take an hour because there is so much information. But what we're going to be looking at today is Celeste Rivas and David on a live stream. We're going to be doing a body language analysis so I can tell you what it is that I'm seeing. And just to complicate things a little bit further, there are reportedly two people with the name Celeste. There's also a 23-year-old with the name Celeste. According to Court TV and TMZ, this is Celeste Rivas, the girl who was found in the Tesla. This is a very brief clip from a live stream. Let's just jump right in. I'll talk about what we see, and then we'll talk about it some afterwards as well.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
All right, so let's look at some of the body language. First, we're going to look at David. Let's watch his body language right here.
I media trained you.
So as you can see, David has his hand on Celeste's shoulder. Now, what I want you to keep in mind with this is this can mean a number of different things. Sometimes it can be a way to show closeness, but it can also be a subtle means of control depending on the type of relationship. One thing I want you to also keep in mind is that this was not a private moment. They are comfortable showing themselves as close, portraying themselves as close in front of other people. And while this body language alone is not enough to say specifically the nature of the relationship or if it was an inappropriate relationship, this does indicate that they are more than just casual acquaintances. This is not the type of body language that you would typically show with a casual acquaintance.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
Now, you see how he withdrew his lips after he said, I media trained you, and said that's controversial? Withdrawing of the lips is sometimes trying not to say something. In other words, I think this is actually a reaction to what he just said. Maybe that was an impulsive thing to say. Maybe that's something that he regrets saying. But the withdrawal of the lips, oftentimes we do that when we're either trying not to say something or even regretting that we just did say something.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
I'm curious about her fashion choices, whether the hoodie and the glasses were her idea, whether that's how she always dressed when she was around him, if there was the psychological desire to stay hidden, or if there was a very literal desire to obscure her identity to some degree. Now, also keep in mind, if you look at the comments over here, David Epstein flight list. So there is some implication that I suppose that the people that are watching this recognize that there is something not normal about this dynamic, that she is too young to be talking to David in a situation like this.
It's controversial of kids.
So what was bleeped out was that she was making reference to it being controversial that he's committing assault.
It's controversial of kids.
So watch the way he looks at the audience. So he looks at the computer, thinks about what's happening right now. She's basically being her age, trying to be funny, making jokes. And you see how he lets go of her and leans away. This is an automatic reaction. It's creating distance at that point because she thinks it's all funny. But I think that there's an immediate reaction of him that he needs to gain distance from that. There's actually discomfort there from him, despite the fact you see him smiling. And his eyes are closed. Another thing that we do when we are uncomfortable. See, and then he looks down, puts his hand up almost like he's going to cover his face. Now, I know that he literally can't cover his face. That doesn't really do any good. But showing that automatic reaction of, I don't want to be seen right now. She's covering her mouth because to her, this is all a joke. This is a kid here, and she's acting normal for her age. And from what I've read, they actually muted the mic at this time. That's why you're not hearing anything right now.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good.
Now, also watch his hand right here. See, now he points at the screen. Now he's feeling defensive. We tend to point when we're feeling a little bit more aggressive, a little more frustrated. So as he's doing this, he's basically trying to be stern and saying like, hey, nobody needs to pay attention to this or something to that effect.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything.
And if you look at the position of the way that they're sitting with each other, she's leaning close to him, so she clearly feels close to him. He's leaning back towards her. We can't fully glean the nature of the relationship, but we can say there clearly is closeness. That seems very, very clear.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete.
And you can see she's making faces. I think that she's just playing along with the fact that this is being live streamed. I don't think she's taking this very seriously, and David is being playful as well, but it does seem to be there is more legitimate discomfort coming from him. She doesn't seem uncomfortable at all. She just seems to be playing around. He seems quite uncomfortable right now.
Guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
Now let's take a second to look at what some of the comments are to see what the observations were from the audience. Because, like I said, this is a very brief clip. This audience is someone that's going to know David better, and I'm curious what else they have to say.
Really good.
Okay,
It's
bye.
been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my.
See, someone said cancel. Public statement from David's girl.
Delete everything.
End stream. Nah, she's cooked. So people are obviously joking, but at the same time, I think that there's some real concern about what people saw here. There's going to be a noticeable downgrade in quality because it's been impossible to find this footage. So this part actually comes from Court TV, but it does continue the rest of the live stream.
Oh, yo, wait.
Oh, look at it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one?
And you can see on the right, if you're just looking at what's being said, caught you 4K, don't get canceled, dog, caught. People clearly at least believe that something that is not so great is going on here, something worthy of being caught for.
Which one? What's good, David? Big fan.
You can also see they're not sitting as close right now. There's a little bit more distance between them. So it could be that he's feeling more careful after what just happened.
Bro, thank you, Mitochondria.
I gotta stop with him if you even. We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
Now you hear how quietly he's speaking right now. Now he's somebody who's been big and bombastic and loud. So now he's saying, can we delete this stream? When people are trying to hide, they tend to be a little bit quieter. So at this point, he may be very serious as he's saying, can we delete this stream?
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
And then you see the lips get tucked in again. Once again, that's when someone is trying either to not say something or is regretting something that they said. So if you look at this right here, towards the end of this video, they're sitting further apart. He appears to be, from what I would gauge, is much more uncomfortable than he did when this started. All right, we'll go ahead and stop here. Hopefully this is helping you better understand some of the behavior and body language that we saw. Now, I'm sure many people out there are thinking, why hasn't David been arrested yet? And that, first of all, he hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been charged. But that's likely because they don't have probable cause yet. In other words, reasonable grounds. I know you may be going, there's clearly all sorts of crazy evidence that they've been together or that they've been near each other. But that doesn't change the fact that from a legal standpoint, all of the art that he's written, all of the music that he's written, will that be used in a trial if he is arrested? Maybe. But that is not going to be sufficient for probable cause. Just because a body was found in his car, I know you would think automatically that would actually get somebody arrested. Not necessarily, not till they could actually link David to a crime. So they're not going to arrest him until they have probable cause, if they ever do. And I could expect that if they arrested him too soon, that would completely mess up any possible trial. So if David is ultimately arrested, if he's ultimately charged with this, it may actually take a while, and he may never ultimately get arrested, because the body apparently is so degraded that it's going to take months to find out the actual cause of death. That is still considered undetermined, other than they believe that it was a homicide. Now, if you have any other thoughts, please let me know in the comments below. And if there's anything else you want me to analyze, I am also open to that. There's so much information out there about this. There's so much more to analyze, and I plan to do more. But if there's anything specific, please let me know. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.